evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome to another edition of the Ohm Service. The Ohm Service that's your weekly live show with us three. We've got BFG, we've got Betty, and you've got me. Hope you are all well on this lovely Thursday evening.
Indeed.
Sorry, I was changing from twat chat to live chat.
Well, before...
Hello, lovely people.
Hello, and before we start...
Yes, our anuses are fine.
No, huge congratulations to Faxi Ems and his lovely partner. And I hope mother and baby are doing well.
Huggles to baby. The one thing babies and I have got in common with drool and shit ourselves.
It was nice to see Jules's lovely puppies getting some recognition there. Black Country Vapor, hi Jules, hope those beautiful puppies are great.
Betty, let's talk about this. So, Jules puppies.
I think they're rather smashing too. As a matter of fact, they get weighed quite regular.
You can't do that to a puppy.
Oh, sorry. Wrong fucking puppies.
Ah, dear.
It started. Yes, for those that were with us last week, sorry.
Yes,
Yeah, sorry.
Unfortunately, this week we're censored. Not.
No, we're not being censored, no.
Yeah.
No.
No.
I understand you visited a historical erection. Down at
Yes, you
Leek.
did. You've got them lost now. Look.
An historical erection?
Yes, at Leek. A fine old.
Oh, yes, I went to the Cock Inn.
And he didn't use the back door.
No.
No.
And they get nice head too.
Yeah, got a lovely head on the beer. Yeah, to be honest with you, I've never been to Leek before. My wife's sister, they stopped there for like holiday. They've got like a little caravan site, very small. There's only, how many was there? Something like 5 or 6 caravans that's on. It's like a stable as well, so they've got a livery of horses and that lot. But you look out on, well, they're not mountains, but they look like mountains. It's really quite hilly because it's not far away from Buxton, that area, Derbyshire. But they're in Shropshire.
Mm.
And it's lovely bit of countryside. Really do
Yeah.
enjoy it.
Because you're just looking out onto the sort of edge of the Peak District,
Yeah.
aren't you?
Yeah, it's honestly gorgeous.
It is.
Very quaint little town it was, Leek. Really nice.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
There's some lovely little market towns around there. I mean, my nan lived, 8-9 miles from Newport,
Oh, yeah.
which is more the flat sort of middle bit of Shropshire before you start heading out towards the Welsh border, you know. It's gorgeous.
It didn't
The
take
people-
ironically, I mean, looking at map, I mean, I Google mapped it and it said 2 hours. We did it in about an hour and 20.
Mm.
You know, you go Chesterfield way, that way.
Bill, I think it might be on the border, mate.
What?
Leek's sort of border of Shropshire and Staffordshire.
Mm.
But, I know you can get Staffordshire oatcakes there, which are a delight
Yeah, that's true,
in
yeah.
themselves.
It's near Tunstall. Not far from Stoke-on-Trent.
Mm.
Space, I have never been there before in my life. I mean, I've been to Buxton, been there, and Bakewell and all that lot, but I've never been there.
Oh, Bakewell's worth a visit.
Oh, yes, Bakewell is definitely worth a visit.
I like his tarts.
Well, we've done Ecclefechan, so
They don't make tarts.
yes, they do.
They fucking don't.
Yes, they do.
Dawn, back me up, babe.
What are they called though? They're not called Ecclefechan fucking tarts, are they?
Yeah.
UK Andy, Leek is in Staffordshire. Did I say
There we
Shropshire?
Gee,
Yeah.
Scottish
No,
learn something.
Staffordshire.
Every day on this show's a school day. Echo feckin' fucking
Fucking tarts.
Bill's just asked, tart or pudding? I always thought it was a tart.
Oh, fuck me, so there is.
Yeah.
Echo feckin' butter tart. Well, thanks very much, boys, for educating a dumb Scotsman.
There we are. Dawn W's just backed me up.
Thank you, Dawn.
Because we ended up because of
See, that's bullshit, because that's only fucking made for you tourist fuckers.
Ah, very interesting, UK Andy.
What's it done?
Known as the Queen of the Staffordshire Moorlands, Leek is a former textile town with a long and fascinating history. Clustered around stone cobbled market. It is very stone cobbled market. Because it was good, the actual market, because they had an antiques market on, but they also had street performers. I won't say it was a circus, but street performers as well at the weekend. It's really good.
Sounds like a giggle.
Oh, it was lovely. It's not very big, but it was a lovely little market town. Really was. Right, enjoyed it. And the weather was gorgeous as well.
Well, this weekend I am visiting the National Video Game Museum for 2.5 hours of button bashing. So,
Where's that?
Dawn, Sheffield.
All right.
It's superb. Everything from Spectrums up to latest gen consoles.
Cool.
So, me and the kids are looking forward to this. And,
Whatever floats your gigabyte.
oh man, my joystick is throbbing in anticipation.
Yeah, all right, fucking Frankenfurter.
I suppose we better say good evening to the participants.
You best say hello to chat.
Oh God, that's gone short. I'm gonna have to do it live from chat. This is never good. Right, Faxiem, as I said, congratulations, dude. Good evening. Wow, is your life changing? Dawn W. Huggles, babe.
Huggles, babe.
Huggles, babe.
Babe.
Mr. Porter. Love you.
Oh, I never got a fucking babe. Baldy.
Hold on.
What?
You got a snuggle at the barbecue.
I mean, the difference you didn't call me babe, so I'm fucking.
Well, that's your reach round at Christmas out the window.
It's not
Mr. Richards.
It's not that big, it goes out the bloody window just to let you people in chat know.
It's all perspective, darling. Bill Richards, good evening. Net Reality, Graham, good evening, sir. And for those that didn't catch the post on Facebook, get yourself over, get some of that fantastic juice because the price has dropped. And your SoulOhm 10 discount code still works. Highly, highly recommend the raspberry donut from the Amatorium. And the lemon is just...
I'm on the Raspberry Ripple at the moment.
Oh, the Raspberry Ripple went bye-bye, mate. Bill Richards, Dawn, Steve, Black Country Vapor, good evening. I hope you and Jasper...
for Jasper!
And
the
I
Ohm
hope
Service mascot.
He is, bless him. Fee, good evening, darling. Huggles. UK Andy. Huggles.
Huggles.
Vapor Queen Becky. Huggles. Who else we got? We've got Frankomizer. Good evening, sir. Bill Richards, Vapor Queen Becky. By God, you lot talk. Shane Gibson, good evening. Thank you for joining us, sir. Jules, with the lovely puppies. Stevie, behave.
What?
Free Rider Vapor, good evening, sir. And Bubba keeps on scrolling, keeps on vaping pasty. Good evening, Huggles.
Johnny.
Blazing Vapes. Hope you're doing well, matey. Huggles. Sod it, I'm huggling everybody.
You're huggling everyone tonight.
Norse Vapor. Good evening. John Vaping Joker. Huggles. Vapor Queen Becky, Blazing Vapes, Jules, John, Andy,
Mr.
Mick. How you doing? Cousin Mixin.
Mixing.
Hello, Mick.
Hello, Mick.
Hey up me duck, how you doing? Mr. Anderson.
Mr.
Dude.
Anderson.
Yes, we can start now. Mr. Anderson's arrived. And I think we've got everybody.
And hello to everybody that's watching on the replay. Hope you're all well.
Yes, strap yourself in. It could be fun.
Because I know that certain people will be definitely watching on the replay that's been working very hard at early hours in the morning.
Uncle Gav. He's been ferrying people.
Who's been burying people?
Ferrying. He's a bus driver. He's had to put up with these buckets at the early hours of the morning.
Didn't want to say out, but I've just been burying a couple of bodies.
Nah, you need to know somebody with a pig farm. You don't have to bury him then.
You just need to dispose of the teeth.
Yeah, shave their heads.
Went to the supermarket, I bought bin liners, some air freshener. Looked at me rather strange. Don't know why.
And special shout to Liz, who I hope is feeling
Yes,
better.
Liz is not well. Yes, big huggles to Liz. Huggles, extra huggles and huggles.
We'll be around later to serve you soup. Mop your fevered brow. Good soup.
The only thing is, it's going to be Steve naked, just wearing a penny.
And we're not telling you whereabouts he's wearing the penny.
It's dark in here. Christ, what are you trying to do? Kill her? She's ill already.
Fucking hell, this soup's warm. How'd you know, Steve? Be fucking knobs in it. So that'd be cock-a-licky then.
It's the only way.
God, see how he did that? Blow me, like.
It's the only way to test the temperature, darling.
What happened to elbows?
What, in
Nah,
your
it's not.
soup?
That's not hygienic.
That's what you used to do
Well,
with babies.
it's got to be hygienic because we're not allowed to shake hands, are we? Because at COVID, you've got to do that thing, haven't you? So it must be hygienic. Because all through COVID, you could do that. You could go like that with each other.
Yeah, because you certainly can't scratch your fucking balls of your ass with your elbow. Well, wait a minute.
Now let's think about this, boys. How many people has your elbow touched in the last 2 years?
Not many.
No.
I bet you my dick's touched fewer. I've not made that many cheesecakes.
Hold on.
Oi!
What?
Cheeky sod.
That's saying need that. That's saying need up halfway across the fucking room.
I think my good lady may have words with you later.
Hey, up me duck wants to know, are you going to be doing your coat hanger trick?
Nah, not tonight. I'm tired. So tired.
And Mr. Anderson wants to know how you pulled your back out, Betty.
No, that's when he goes to the GP with a bad back. So how did you put your back out, Mr. Well, I was trying to scratch my balls with my elbow, wasn't I?
They said it couldn't be done, and I proved him wrong.
Hold my beer, I said, boys. Hold my beer. And twang, it went.
And we started at the end of the ball like Mel Gibson trying to put me dislocated fucking shoulder back in. You battle.
Thing is, though, why have we all of a sudden all become Southerners?
Because northern folk are too bloody sensible to try crap like that.
Big guns! Fist bump.
That's me stuck.
Yeah, that's it. That's Alpha's viewing figures just...
It's the new Northern Olympic sport to see if they can scratch their nuts with an elbow.
Eee! If you get it right, you could join gurning as well.
Can they scratch their balls? Amos' name, Mr. Wilkes.
I'm sure Amos could scratch Mr. Wilkes' balls.
I'm sure he could.
Insta gutter mode on. Bill, what are you trying to say?
And this only started with elbows.
I tell you what, Bill, the amount of people that have come up and made comment on last week's show.
Last week's show was ace.
You're all sick little puppies, and you need to find Jesus.
Apparently he's under a park bench somewhere.
The way world's going, I wouldn't surprise. Right.
So, I've been asked a question here. John Vapor Joker, he's got the mini robot. I've got the mini robot too. The mod itself, I mean, I haven't reviewed it yet. The mod I like. It's the tank I'm not a big fan of. It's alright. It's but ugly. What?
Sorry, it was a comment from A Up Me Duckies. I'm from Nottingham. I'm a northerner to southerners and a southerner to anyone north of Sheffield. Basically, Billy No Mates, but at least I'm not offended. And then Big Guns has said, I think this is a UK conversation. Only guys like me from across the pond wouldn't know about this stuff.
Okay, we can educate you. We've still got about an hour to go.
Yeah, of course we can.
Big Guns, stick with us, mate.
Yeah, and another thing is, you are all southerners to me.
This is true. Yeah, totally. Well, the best way to explain it to people across the pond, up north is like you're down south, and you're up north is like our down south. That's the best way of explaining it.
We're the sort of English rednecks, aren't we?
Yeah, we are definitely English rednecks. Yeah, that's the best way of explaining it. Because me and BFG, we're living in the deep south of Yorkshire.
Yes, the deep south.
Definitely the deep south of Yorkshire.
Why they've all got dueling banjos as their ringtone.
So if you've ever watched Game of Thrones, we're like, is it the Starks?
Yeah, Sean Bean.
Yeah, Sean Bean and all that. We're like the Starks. Yeah. Southerners are like, what's his...
The
King
Baratheons.
Joffrey and all them lot. They're Southerners.
And we're north of the wall.
And them lot over at wall.
Yeah.
They're wild
Walkers.
Fuck all Jon Snow.
That's a good way of explaining it.
What kills me now is the thought that somebody sat in the Shetland Isles going, Southern Nancy. Bill's from the far north of Yorkshire. A more civilised place for a more civilised person.
So there you go. So we're rednecks, us.
Ayup says he was looking at that about 20 minutes ago. We'll have to watch a few reviews before buying.
I like it. I've got to admit, I do like it. I'm just not a fan of the tank. Good flavour, but I just don't like. I just don't like it. I just think it just don't look right.
It's the nipple, isn't it?
I don't know what it is. It looks like a blooming Dalek's blooming ears on either side with this airflow. And then you've got this right blooming long mouthy piece. And it's 510. You can take it at the 510 off. But I've got not a single 510 that will fit it, shorter and make it look decent. But the mod itself's all right. It reminds me of what did they used to have them? The Boost little chip you used to be able to put in Met mods. The Kick. Basically, it's one of them inside it. It's basically a Met mod with a kick in it. Best way of explaining it. Me personally, I'd have loved it if they'd have had the 5 button at the bottom. So you could hold it like a mech and hold it like that instead of having this. I think the button's too high.
I'm actually surprised that nobody's brought that kind of style out.
Well, from the base. Well, I mean, you've got the Soul Keeper from UL.
Okay, that's good. Yeah.
That's the only one that I know of that's actually got the 5 button at the bottom. And honestly, it's the most comfiest mod. If you want a semi-regulated but mech feeling mod.
Apparently you should wiggle your finger again.
Maybe Shino's fingers.
Goes fast as well, look. Ooh.
Oh, I say. Well, Fee's just killed me. I'm far south of the equator, so everyone is a northerner to me. Mind, we had a lovely time on Sunday. Was it Sunday? No, it was Wednesday. I pulled up Google Maps and showed Dawn where Port Elizabeth was. And I will not try and pronounce the new name because it's not right. They've changed the name of Port Elizabeth to the name of the river, and it sounds like a bad outbreak of Qatar. It's nigh and impossible to pronounce if you're not South African. It's not having it. So, but by God, it's got big. Because I've got some maps and things when Mum and Dad were over there, and I was being born. And it's just one huge area of building now.
Well, there's showing you pictures of you actually being born.
No, there was maps. They had maps and things of the old Port Elizabeth.
All right.
So I was sort of looking at the satellite images, and it's huge. It just seems to have sprawled. It's got a new name. Yes, I'll be buggered if I can pronounce it. Let me see. I shall Google food this. It's huge. Thank you, Dawn. Stop looking so confused, boys.
I was just thinking I know how big Dawn's hands are.
What, Pasty doing?
No. Yeah, well, Pasty and Dawn actually did a measuring contest, and yeah.
Oh, it was impressive.
Pardon?
It was impressive.
It was very impressive.
Oh, no, Google's crashed on me.
Oh, no. That's it. No show.
It's the end of the world
As we know it.
And I feel fine.
Oh, bless you. Have you got it?
Indeed. Port Elizabeth's new name.
I'm on the Cyborg from Las Vegas.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if you could mention that. That's why I didn't ask.
Oh, I mentioned it. You're going to say I've seen it that much on blooming the interweb. It's unreal. So yeah, I'm on that at the present moment. Single 21700 beast of a mod. I'm on that one. I'm also on the. Is it the Brunhilde? Yeah, Brunhilde side by side, and I've got the Arbiter Solo on that. Do like me little Arbiter Solo. It's a lovely little tank.
There you are. Thank you, Dawn W. It's excellent.
I'm not on a fat rabbit. I've not got one yet.
I'm not on a fat rabbit.
No. I've been tempted. I've got to admit, I have been tempted to get one.
I'm on my fat arse, but not a fat rabbit.
balls for Bunny!
Apparently, there's a clicks part of it. Get
No,
better or
fist
something?
bump.
No, dude! Bunny, darling, sweetie. Hello. Jules is on the sofa.
I
Shane,
certainly
no
would.
worries, I'll give him a nudge.
What?
Shane hasn't got his winnings from the Oxford giveaway yet, so I will give him a nudge.
No problem. Oh, God. My Tinterweb is not having a good day.
So while you're not having a good day with your interweb, Betty,
Party.
you brought out some quite interesting post on our little Facebook page, and I thought you could carry it on because it was about posters, wasn't it? The advertisement of e-cigarettes compared to.
It was. Let me find the damn thing again.
Oh, the supermarkets.
Yes.
See, me and Betty had a rather quick conversation. I have not noticed it.
Yes. Where am I? Yes.
To be honest, the way that our local supermarkets are, you would have problems finding the fag booth if you didn't know where it was.
Yeah. Well, this was something I found on Planet of the Vapes today. Guys, if you haven't, if you're not a member of the Planet of Vapes forum, even go and have a look because there's been some interesting shit coming out over the last couple of days. But this was one that kind of caught my eye this morning. Researchers say that prominent e-cig displays in shops are threatening the progress made in combating smoking. This was the header. So basically what they're saying is that efforts to discourage people from smoking by banning tobacco retail displays in shops and supermarkets could be weakened by prominent displays of electronic cigarettes, according to a paper published in today's Tobacco Control Journal. Oddly, the paper was produced by some who have been supporters of vaping in the past. So there's a bit of a conflicting story going on here. But basically what they're saying is tobacco products displayed at the point of sale in retail stores are banned, but e-cig displays are not. This is what this article is about. I'll be honest with you. Going into certain supermarkets, yeah, you'll see one or two, but it's not as if they're bombarding you and they're in your face all the time. I think where it was. So there was a team of researchers that say they aim to address this gap to inform future research by examining the impact of e-cigarette point-of-sale displays on tobacco and smoking. And here we go. Here's the kicker yet again, particularly in children. It always gets round to the children. So they visited 166 stores in Bristol and Cambridge, of which 133 sold the relevant products and agreed to take part. These included small and large format stores of 4 supermarket chains and a randomly select sample of convenience stores. The team utilised a standardised checklist to create a total visibility score from the point of sale displays of e-cigarettes that were encountered, while other measures of visibility and placements were also captured. It's a bit long-winded, to be honest. Basically what they're saying is they were out to see or research so many stores to see what prominent displays were on display regarding e-cigarettes, as opposed to obviously the cigarette side of things. The results showed that both e-cigarettes and smoking paraphernalia point of sale displays were present in 96% of these stores. These point of sale displays were highly visible across the store, with an average visibility score of 14.7 out of 17 for e-cigarettes on the checklist. Whatever that means, that went right over my bloody head. Analysis of the results also revealed that the use of single display units was far more common for e-cigarettes than for smoking paraphernalia. Now, I don't know what they're actually meaning by smoking paraphernalia.
Is that lighters, cigarette papers?
Could be. But normally paraphernalia, when I hear the word smoking paraphernalia.
Yeah, you think of bongs, don't you?
Yeah, yeah.
Bongs, tobacco
That's what I
tins.
was. That's what I was taking from that. Well, you're not going to get that in bloody supermarkets, are you?
No. You see, I've got to be honest with you. I probably nip to the Asda or Tesco's, and that's about it for me. I'm not one for really going big shopping. If you go to any Tesco's or you go to any Asda, unless you actually go to the tobacco booth, you wouldn't even know anything about e-cigarettes or anything.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, that some of the supermarkets that I've been into I go to regular, as the Tesco and the like, they do have the little bit at the side with their vape pens and shit like that, and stuff, and you know, they're certain little cartridges of juice and things like that. I mean, I'm not going to mention any names, but the way I'm kind of reading this article is they're trying to say that it's big neon signs, and this is all wrong, and it's the tobacco fucking people are kicking up hell about it. All the shit, as far as I'm concerned.
Do you think when I read it, I thought it was an interesting article, but I did get a feeling that you've got these quote unquote experts looking for something.
Yeah, they are.
Do you know? And that's how it came across as well. It wasn't that they was doing a study that really needed doing. It seemed like a study to look for something. It was sort of like, well, if tobacco products are not allowed to be advertised, vaping products are allowed to be advertised. So
Yes.
What's a salesperson going to do? They will put a poster up for vaping because they're allowed to do it. So it seems like a dead end argument or dead end.
I think it's the way I kind of read into it, that this was their way to actually bring in
Fist bump.
the children yet again. The vaping displays that are on display in these stores, they're aiming at the children again with these vape fucking vanilla ice cream flavour or vape or jam donut. It's going back down that route again. But they're being sneaky about it. I mean, any of the larger supermarkets that I've been in, as I say, don't get me wrong, you do get your vaping devices on the counter and things like, well, not actually physically on the counter, but you'll see little placards and things like that sitting. I mean, they're only little things. I have seen some local convenience stores around here where literally one half of their window display is covered in e-cig posters.
You see, now that I can understand them having a gripe about.
Well,
And when you get into the local convenience stores, they're on display in your face, literally. But you go to the counter to pay, they're right. I mean, they're literally right there. You're going to buy bread, milk, or whatever, and the display is right there in your face. Well,
Yeah.
as far as I'm concerned, they should be at the back, out of the way, so that they're not little kids going, "Mom,
So
what's that?"
the checklist was number of display units, presence of signage, presence of visible pricing. Hold on. That's getting a bit. Size of display versus tobacco storage unit, smaller or separate, same size or larger. Presence of promotional material, yes or no?
Yeah, but surely, if we're trying to get people to move from tobacco onto vaping, isn't that a good thing?
I would have said so.
Me too. And they also used colour as a measure. Well, vaping products are notoriously colourful.
But it doesn't make any odds whether it's vaping products, toilet paper products, anything at all. If you're advertising them, if you're a business or a manufacturer trying to sell something, what are you going to do? I'm just going to have an advertisement as bland as hell, and people are they're just going to go by, walk past it with their eyes closed. Of course, everything's going to be bright. They can't decry companies for doing that.
No.
As far as I'm concerned, and we all know it's a cessation product at the end of the day.
This bit boils my piss. The use of multiple display units was more common for e-cigarettes, 53%, than for smoking paraphernalia. You know why? Because the displays are normally provided by the firm. There is rules. You cannot have other products on one firm's display unit. So you're going to have multiple units because most shops have multiple brands.
Yeah, but also comparing it to cigarettes have got to be covered up.
Exactly, it's ridiculous.
So to me personally, this is a null and void research straight away. It's so like no shit Sherlock should be at the end of it.
Yep.
So it's almost like literally reading it. It was almost like they was looking for a problem.
And funnily enough, if you actually read about the universities who actually carried out the study, Bristol College, University College London, University of Cambridge are concerned about vape products being too visible. Researchers include Marcus Munafo, found that most retailers that sell tobacco, albeit out of view, had prominent displays of e-cigarettes because e-cigarettes don't contain the amount of carcinogenic fucking poisons that cigarettes do. End of.
And when you look at who they've actually referenced, the association between point of sales displays and youth smoking, susceptibility, that's the number one. Systematic review on the impact of point of sales tobacco promotion on smoking, which is null and void now, and that's 2015. Global evidence on the effect of point of sales displays ban on smoking prevalence. E-cigarettes regulations for consumer products. So they have actually checked out the MHRA's regulations, which is something. Out of sight, out of mind, evaluating the impact of point of sale tobacco display bans on smoking related beliefs and behaviours in a sample of Australian adolescents.
Hey?
So they're picking up points, yeah? I appreciate you look at other papers, but surely using a paper from a country which has vilified tobacco products for so many years.
Well, I mean, let's be right. They've got the way with the tobacco. The plain packaging, under wraps, virtually zero advertising. The only advertisement they say is tobacco on top shelf, and that's it, which I appreciate. But is this a ploy to make e-cigarettes go down that route as well?
Oh, hell yeah.
Yes, because where am I? Right at the very end, they conclude e-cigarettes point of sale displays are near ubiquitous and highly visible in supermarkets and convenience stores in 2 cities in England. The impact of these displays on tobacco smoking in children and adults is unknown, meriting urgent research to assess their effects on susceptibility to tobacco smoking in children.
That's already been researched and proven.
They're just fucking rehashing old shit again.
Yeah.
I've been looking here to try and see where the funding came from. And the research was funded in whole or in part by the Wellcome Trust. So who is the Wellcome Trust? For purpose of open access, the author has applied a CC by public copyright license to University of Cambridge, the MRC epidemiology. What the hell is that? So let's see who the Wellcome Trust are, shall we? Because I'm intrigued here. The Wellcome Trust is a charitable foundation focused on health research based in London. Okay. So the Wellcome Trust gets money from who? I think that answers that one. Established in 1936 with legacies from the pharmaceutical magnate Henry, welcome. Founder of one of the predecessors of GlaxoSmithKline.
Oh, pharmaceuticals.
But when literally, as I was reading it, I'm thinking, this is just looking for something that's really not there. I mean, it's like someone said in chat, most e-cigarettes, especially on the pod side of things, are colour coordinated for the flavour.
Yeah.
Tobacco's normally brown, strawberries red, lemons yellow. So they are going to be colourful.
Yeah.
I've seen some crap before, but by God, somebody wasted some time there.
They're scraping the bottom of the barrel now.
It's sort of like, no, this is just, it's just trying to find something that they've got no grasp on.
Now, what I find interesting is that comment that it's prevalent in 2 cities. Yeah? That's probably what? 10 square miles, 12 square miles between them? Yeah? It's Tap Hall. That is not a size where you can make any conclusion whatsoever.
No, none whatsoever.
I'll just finish off with this on the last paragraph from who was it who wrote the article actually? Dave Cross. His last paragraph is, given the extensive research demonstrating that there is no significant issue with teen vaping, that teen vaping is declining, and that teen smoking rates continue to decline, it is difficult to understand the point of their study and why they appear to labour under the misapprehension that further urgent research is required.
This is what gets me laughing now. Vaping's not new.
No.
I mean, heck, I've been vaping 10 years. And I know people that have been vaping longer than that. So it's not exactly new. The studies have been done. I mean, obviously, you've got the Royal College, they're doing their long-term study, which should be out next year, that we all know about. And it's sort of like, the evidence keeps on going. Yeah, no one's ever saying that vaping is safe. No one has ever said that. But comparing it to smoking, it's 95, and they might be actually increasing
95%
plus safer. It's so like, what grinds me game with else? It's so like, for all these years that I was smoking, people kept on saying, you need to stop smoking, you need to stop smoking. I found something that stopped me from smoking 10 years ago. I've done what they originally asked me to do. I have found something that has stopped me from having a cigarette. And they're still not bloody happy.
No. And if it wasn't for vaping, you'd still be smoking.
I would be. Oh, yes, definitely. Yeah. I would still be smoking.
100%. I'm coming up to 5 years.
With possibly poor health. Or poorer health.
Yeah. Totally.
Oh, I was diagnosed with the first stages of COPD. I'd probably be in a right state by now if I carried on.
And this is all through all this, like everything that's gone off in America and what's gone off here over the years. And it still really winds me up. The doctors, stop smoking. You've got to stop smoking. It's bad for you. It causes cancer. So I've stopped smoking. I found something that I can do instead of smoking, and you're still not bloody happy.
But there's Shane put something that he was in the hospital the other week with a suspected heart attack, and the first thing the doctor said to me was, give up vaping because we don't know how safe it is.
Evening, Mush. After 10 years, I appreciate 10 years in medical terms is nothing. Yeah? But it is long enough for short-term effects to become visible.
Exactly.
So...
I mean, they keep on saying that the science isn't there, we don't know what's in them. It's a load of rubbish. They know exactly what's in them.
What they can't work out is a way to tax them.
Yeah, basically.
See, the problem is things like petrol, alcohol, and cigarettes are what they call sin tax. And they can't sin tax something that's stopping you from, that's a lot healthier for you.
Yeah, that's not a sin, basically. But they'll find something. They'll find that they'll say the nicotine. That's your sin.
Well, and this brings us nicely onto the NNA's article, because the WHO are actually trying to redefine what smoke is. They want to redefine anything that produces an aerosol effect as smoking.
So every time I spray deodorant on my pits, it's smoking.
Indeed. Which just
every time I powder my ass with talcum powder and fart,
you're smoking.
I'm just going to put the link into NNA in chat. There you go.
Well, I posted it into the Facebook group Wednesday, I think. So,
yeah, they wanted a call to action for you to get in touch with your local MP.
Yeah, there is also, there's a GoFundMe. What the hell is that? Oh shit! Let me see if I can find it.
So basically, if the WHO did manage to redefine what smoke is, a boiling pot, as Bill's just put, would be smoking, and therefore would be liable to all the same issues as lighting up a fag.
So what happens with smoke machines?
That would be smoking.
Actually not smoke.
I know that. You know that. The WHO want to change it. And the reason they want to change the definition is so that vaping falls under any bans on tobacco products.
It's crazy. The WHO, ever since I can remember, the WHO have been against vaping. And why? I just don't understand why.
For all the money.
Well, yeah,
there's that in there.
Now, the reason for writing to your MP is the COP Secretariat. It's a group that provides a background and guidance documents to government parties, and that's countries. We're not talking like the Conservatives and Labour. We're talking countries here. It's extremely hostile to nicotine products, and despite harm reduction being one of the three pillars of policy, it's conspicuously absent of late now that discussions on new and emerging products are on the table. So the WHO and the FCTC have been recommending restrictive policy before exploring potential pros and cons of such an approach, and ignore countries that have regulated safer nicotine products successfully, such as the UK. As a legal treaty, the FCTC's contents are binding on governments to implement them. So the problem is, at this COP meeting, anything that is agreed there is legally binding to the government of that country. So while we are out of Europe, we are not out of this. So decisions at any COP meeting cannot be waved away by politicians, largely because to become a COP decision, governments must take part in a consensus decision, and any COP decision means that all governments participating have given consent. This is a bloody big risk to us as vapers.
See, what they're wanting to do is it's COP9, isn't it? They want to wait until COP10 to start discussing it.
Which would be good. So what they want is a ban on open systems and products. So basically, they advocate for flavour bans, but also ban on open tank systems. It recommends that heated tobacco should be classed as a reduced risk product, should not be classed as a reduced risk product, and should be treated as smoking, while also claiming that switching to vaping is not smoking cessation. It does this by completely dismissing the Cochrane evidence reviews, which is renowned as the highest standard for health research. And that stated that e-cigarettes work better than nicotine replacement. So they also recommend that vaping should be regulated based on nicotine flux. And this is a very clever backup plan that if they don't get to ban open systems where you can add your own juice. So what they're after is pods and disposables. Now, they also want, and as I mentioned, here it is in black and white, there's been a proposal to redefine smoke as anything heated which emits aerosol visible to the naked eye, for e-cigarettes to be classed as tobacco products and therefore be regulated, taxed and banned in the same as every other aspect of tobacco. So, as we've just said, a kettle would be smoking. A pan would be smoking. An iron would be smoking. Get a fucking grip. This just screams, how do we milk people?
It also kind of screams as we're clutching at straws here.
Oh yeah, it's totally. You can see, literally, they've run out of things to come out with.
Yeah.
See, the Americans, they ran out of the. It was you go back a few years. It was science about vaping. They ran out of that, so they went down the moral way. Oh, you've got to protect the kids, and they've won with that. But they can't win that with, especially here in the UK, because we've proved that it's not happening.
Yeah.
There is no teen epidemic at all. We've proved it. So they're going down another route. See, it's like I said just earlier. I found an alternative to stop smoking. They should be happy about that people have found an alternative to stop smoking. It just proves that they are not interested in actual people's health. What?
It does.
What
No.
were you smirking at?
No, that was a private one. I'm not reading that one out on camera. So I'm just looking at the agenda.
Right. You just what you said there, Mark. I'm just going to show you something, and this is true.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is it in a fucking nutshell. They're not going to get any money from us through ill health caused by cigarettes. And at the end of the day, that statement is true, 100%.
See, you've not only got them ones. I mean, you've got all these little charity companies as well. There are companies. They might be charities, but the charity companies, they get money. So obviously, if they've got nothing to gripe about and nothing to do, they're null and void, aren't they? So basically, what they're doing is self-perpetuating themselves.
I'm trying. If I can't find it, somebody put a petition thing up.
No, I'm a bit concerned about
Find this
in the agenda, section 4.2. For the reasons articulated above, which is because what they're saying is because it's a Teams meeting, a glorified Zoom, if you will. The Bureau decided that reports prepared by the WHO, so this is tobacco reports prepared by the WHO on vaping, and evidence on novel and emerging tobacco products contained in the document, and by the Convention Secretariat, challenges posed by in the classification of novel and emerging tobacco products should be presented for information, and that related substantive discussions should be deferred to COP10. So that's what basically the NNA want, because it gives them some rallying time. What concerns me is we know who payrolled the WHO report, and that was Bloomberg. The same Bloomberg that's about to get his testicles handed to him in the Philippines.
Yes. Him and Mr. fucking Gates.
These are the boys that think you can throw money at a government and influence your opinion on an elected body. And it is their opinion. I know we're sounding a bit tinfoil tonight, boys, but this is fact. Go onto the web, look up the Philippines, look up Bloomberg, see what the buggers have been up to. And they've not just done it in the Philippines, they've done it in various countries.
Yeah.
They just haven't been caught. This one, they've been caught with their trousers round their ankles and lubed and smiling. But both of those people that we've just named have a huge influence on the WHO through their various charity.
See, the problem is, I mean, I've heard it across quite a few people in our community. Oh, whatever the WHO says, it doesn't really matter. The British
It
government.
does.
Yes, technically, yes, you are correct. The British government does what it will do, but they do get peer pressured. And if other countries get peer pressured, we'll get peer pressured. And it's how the change, even though we've left the EU, for arguing's sake, that the European Union does go down the route of how WHO wants to regulate e-cigarettes, we will get pressured to follow suit. Irrespective of the NHS and all that, we will get peer pressured, because you've always got to remember that deals are done under the table with give and takes. You know, it's sort of like you do this and we'll do that kind of policy making, and it all happens under the table. You scratch my back, we'll scratch yours. You know, so like you follow line with us on the new TPD3, and we'll give you fishing rights here, and there's all that.
This is it. And Bill, as Bill's just correctly put, we are still signed up for the WHO mandate. In the same, what's the name of the "you shall not torture prisoners of war"? That agreement.
Is that the
Swiss one.
Guttersburg?
No.
Is that the Geneva Convention one?
Geneva Convention, right? So the Geneva Convention says you shall not, yeah? And for those that say the WHO mandate doesn't apply, I've got one word to say, well, two words, Guantanamo Bay. Would the Americans got in such deep shit for breaching the Geneva Convention if it didn't apply to them? Exactly the same scenario. We've signed up to a legally binding mandate. Yeah? And when we signed up, we agreed to follow it. And Planet of Debate, the NNA have put it very nicely in that. They've put it in simple terms. Basically, if it's agreed there, we are screwed. So hence the call to action. And I think now we should, this is one we need to get involved with.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I mean, I know the likes of that article says, write to your MP and stuff, but it was earlier on today, it was one of these petition things that's come up. And basically it was along the same lines. It needs so many thousand signatures and stuff.
Me personally, I'm not a big fan of petitions.
No, I'm not. But what I was going to kind of point out was I was reading some of the comments down it, and the antis have jumped on it straight away.
100%. 100%. For me, those petitions, they're great, yeah? And there is legislation that says once you get to 100,000, whatever, it has to be heard in Parliament. Yeah? How many of those have you actually heard discussed, even the ones that have got to 100,000?
Exactly.
I've signed them before for autism and things, and the figures on the official website say it's over 100,000. I've never heard any of it discussed. Now, I would rather send a letter to my MP and keep on sending a letter to my MP.
Yeah.
The bugger can only ignore him for so long.
Yeah, I mean, I did it before. Now, for life, I can't remember what it was for. And I wrote a letter to it. It was a while ago now. And I thought, you know what, I'll never hear bugger all back about this. 8 weeks later, I got a letter back from a local MP, thanking me for the letter that I sent in, and mine wasn't the first one that she'd received. She'd received a few, and she would look into it. Unfortunately, I don't know what happened after that.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I've done quite a lot of MP. In fact, I did the MP, local MP. I also did the MP that went to the European Union when that was going off. And you do get a letter back, but then that's it. That's all you hear. You don't hear any progression of it.
Yeah. It's just like one of...
It is a worrying thing, and it's like I said, months and months ago. Even though we've got it pretty good here in the UK, and we have got it good when it comes to vaping, we've got a government and an NHS that's on board with vaping, doesn't mean that we can sit on as laurels.
At the minute they're on board.
At the minute, yeah, exactly.
You know, we've got used to vaping. As you say, it's been around, it's been in the mainstream for the last, 3-4 years? People have got used to vaping. If they banned vaping tomorrow, I'd be back on the fags.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was trying to find this. It was just basically to read out some of the comments from the aunties. You know, it gets on my fucking tits, to be honest. Some of the comments that they put in, that, you know, that basically they're null and void. They're not, they don't hold no ground, but yet they still put them in. Some of the stuff that's been put in and the questions that they've put in and their arguments that have been put in have been fucking debunked that many bloody times, but they still seem to believe that what's written in the gutter press is 100% correct. And they believe it. They swallow it hook, line and sinker.
Oh, God, yeah.
It does. It bloody annoys me. But unfortunately, I can't find the damn thing.
No,
I mean, one of the ones I can remember. One guy went, "Yeah, vaping should be banned because you all stink," and one guy fucking jumped on him. "Yeah, we just smell like fucking donuts and ice cream." And then there was some of them underneath that I don't think could have been read out. But it's
Cicero, Buggles.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing that bugs me. You've got the aunties throwing all this up, yeah? Think of the children, and that is the common theme, as we've said
that's
time
the
and time
moral
again.
Yeah. But it's starting to get fucking worn out now.
That's not an argument. That's an attempt at emotional blackmail.
Yeah, of course it is.
You know,
and in America, it's worked.
But is that, as I've said before, and I have said in the past, and I'll say it again, you don't see them jumping down the likes of fucking McDonald's, KFC when the teenage and child obesity is through the fucking roof. What's more harmful at the moment?
Yes, but Karen and her mates don't have to get off their asses and cook a bloody meal then, do they? They just take the kids to McDonald's.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the downside of that is, I mean, and please, by all means, people don't take any offence to this. It was an article that was on the news during the week about the young girl that couldn't get school clothes. She was a size 22 and she was 12 years of age.
That's a big girl.
Is there a medical condition in that? Or
I can't remember reading anything about a medical condition, to be honest.
Because
as Bill says, I mean, obesity does it kills more than smoking. And it's the amount of overweight kids that you see these days. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm an overweight adult. I wasn't an overweight kid. Well, I don't think I was.
I was.
But the amount of children that you see now, it's terrible. It really is. It's ridiculous. But then again, that's society as well. It's not just a case of because we've got McDonald's and I'm blaming them, but it's society as a whole is to blame for this, because I think it's a case of, I mean, the likes of when we were kind of growing up, where were you at this time of night?
It's dark now, so I'd be coming home.
But what were you doing before it?
I'd be out with mates.
Many young kids do you see actually out in the streets playing these days?
Do you know another thing that I was on the news regarding children? The amount of mental illness and depression is at the highest level it's ever been.
And you know what? They've linked, there is some evidence that links social media with this. It's that constant pressure of trying to keep up with people because people are presenting the perfect life to the world. I mean, it's crazy. You know, when we were kids, something crossed your mind and it was gone in 5 minutes because there was something shiny over there. You know,
It's like I've said to you two before. Kids aren't kids anymore.
no,
You've got toddlers, and then they're adults,
Yeah.
and then they stay at this Kevin and Perry age until they're about 30.
Yeah.
It's really weird. Kids are forced to grow up so quickly, and I'm not on about mentally growing up. I'm on about physically growing up with image and all that, and keeping up with the Joneses lifestyle. Whereas when we were kids, it's sort of like if you had a ripped pair of jeans, it didn't matter. Your actual possessions didn't matter. We weren't bothered if you had the top notch bike or you had a bike that you built yourself. So it's sort of like very, very strange. I would not want to be a child in this day and age.
Well, I went to a school reunion on Saturday, and we were talking about this, and it was like none of us would choose to be back at school now under the restrictions and everything that kids are facing at school now. They know where you are, when you're there, and if you're not there, God help you. Yeah.
Oh, I tell you one thing: the way that they blooming treat kids now, it's like they're walking into a prison. If they're not wearing the correct shoes, they're not wearing the correct blazer and everything, they get sent home. Oh, it's terrible. Absolutely terrible.
What makes... How the fuck can I word this now? What clothes you're wearing doesn't determine your academic ability.
Nope.
That's about the best way I can put it.
It makes the school look good.
Because I remember when I first started high school, we moved from the city out to the sticks, and at that point I didn't have a school uniform. I had trousers, white shirt, and fortunately I got a school tie, but I didn't have a school blazer. At that time, can you remember the box jackets when the box jackets came out?
Yep.
Can you remember them? I had a box jacket. It was still a nice jacket. I get pulled up by PE teacher. That's not school uniform. I mean, and what? What do you want me to do? Walk about without it? You will get, and this is what, I mean, I can still remember. I mean, it's Norman Jackson. His name was. He was about 3 foot tall, but the only thing that was missing was a little Hitler task, because that's what he was. He was a little Rottweiler type guy. You will have a school blazer by the start of. You'll have a school blazer by the start of next week. I went, oh well. Yes, you will. My mother was up at that school the next day, and she tore him a fucking new arsehole. And I think it's ridiculous that schools are dictating to families that your child must be dressed this particular way.
Yeah, but you're not just talking about a school uniform that you can get from Asda.
No,
they have to go to a special place that costs a blooming arm and a leg.
It's got to be a specific type of blazer. It's got to be specific type trousers, skirt, blouse, shirt, shoes, and all the rest of it. It's ridiculous. I mean, I always thought the best thing that ever happened was the likes of Asda and Tesco bringing out their kind of
generic.
Their kind of value range school clothes. Every kid was going to school with a uniform. Yeah, all right, it's maybe kind of pissed you off if you were going to school wearing the uniform. But at the end of the day, each kid was going smartly dressed. Doesn't matter whether it was a fucking £300 blazer from fucking Harrods down the street or a £10 blazer from Asda.
Exactly.
What difference does it make?
And I've always said it the same, like with, I mean, someone's mentioned it in Dawn, about having hair too curly. What has a hairstyle got to do with education?
I get suspended for a hairstyle.
No. That was the only one that would get us suspended, a mohawk.
I get a skinhead.
Yeah, but the thing
Really?
is, though, everyone walks around with a skinhead nowadays and no one bats an eyelid.
I went to the barbers at the time. I mean, everybody was into the madness and the specials and things like that at the start of the 80s. It was just a fucking done thing. Everybody wore stay-pressed trousers, Doc Marten boots. So the local barber, as soon as you went in, didn't matter what you asked for. Just a crew cut. Just like, I mean, kind of what this is basically what I've got just now. It was the haircut I wanted. No, the whole fucking lot come off. I literally had a blue shadow in my head. Went back to school that afternoon. Yeah. And I got hauled off to the, I know this is going to sound a bit kind of posh, but it was a housemaster's office, but it wasn't. It was just, the school was split up into so many houses depending on your surname and stuff. And I was sat down and I get a lecture. Do you think that's appropriate haircut? And I went, nothing wrong with it, it's only a haircut. Well, that's not the image. Basically, that's not the image this school wants to portray, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, hold on a wee minute. I says, that'll grow in 2 weeks' time. Yours won't. So what's the difference? I mean, he was virtually bald. You're suspended till the end of term. Don't come back to the start of new term. That fucking suits me. But sent home suspended for a bloody haircut. It's ridiculous. And I want to answer Tomac's question, or what Tomac's put in. I did, mate. I'm going to pick it up tomorrow.
And this is what kills me now. We don't have kids learning to be themselves. We have kids being told what to do, how to do it, and what's right and wrong. And that's why we've got the bloody snowflakes. Because
see, the thing is, though, is they want people to conform. You are not an individual, you're a stat. And that's what basically schools are based on nowadays, is stats.
But we are all individuals. And that, for me, is the biggest argument about the mental health of kids. Because they are not getting the basic tools to survive life. Yeah, the world is not perfect. You do not get a runners-up medal. You do not get a participation trophy. Yeah, life is hard. It will kick you in the knackers and it will keep on jumping on your groin until you squeal like a baby pig.
Yeah. But there's another issue that gets my fucking tits. Just that you mentioned there, you get a participants medal. No. It was first, second, and third when I was at school. The thing that gets my goat, it really does, is the way the education system was changed. That everybody came out of school with a certificate of sorts. Further education, especially in the skill, the trade side of things. When I was going through my apprenticeship, we sat 2 exams, one the second year, and the second one was in the 4th year of my apprenticeship. It was City and Guilds I sat. Now, you had 2 years of study under your belt, so you had 2 years of knowledge, then you get an exam.
Yeah.
And then in the 4th year, you'd that 4 years of knowledge, and they were asking you questions that you got, stuff that you should have known from your first year. So you had 2 exams to pass before you would get your papers at the end of the day. Now, what they do nowadays is everything is all done in modules. So if you fuck it up and you fail that particular module, you get about 4 chances to pass it. So what I'm getting at is you can have youngsters who are going to college to come out with trade papers at the end of the day. But you maybe have 3 or 4 kids within that, or 3 or 4 boys or girls, whatever, within that classroom who excel at that particular trade. And you get little Jimmy down the bottom who couldn't hammer a fucking nail into wood. But when little Jimmy, and just for saying sake, John, go for the same job, the 2 of them have the identical fucking certificates at the end of the day. Who are they going to employ? They end up employing a dunderhead who can't hammer a nail into wood, yet he's got the same certificates as this other guy. And he can't do the job. I've seen it time and time and time again. I just think it's all wrong. If you've not got the ability to do it, don't do it. Leave and go do something else. Because a lot of it nowadays is coming down, especially for the likes of myself. I mean, God forbid anything happens to me and I lose my job through redundancy or whatever. I'm kind of at that age now where it would be difficult for me. I'm not saying 100% difficult, but it would be difficult for me to try and get a job within the industry that I'm trained to work in. Because there's young lads coming up through the ranks now who are a lot younger than me, who have this little certificate in their hand to say, I went to college for 4 years. My certificate says I can do the same job as that guy over there who's 40 years experience under his belt. But because I'm younger and carry this certificate, you'll get more work out of me, mister.
And you won't have to pay me as much.
Yeah, he gets the job, I don't.
See, I've got a good job now. Yeah. I do have a cracking job. How I got it, I will never know. But before I had this cracking job, I have delivered plant. Yeah, literally just driving a van all day. I have sold second-hand TVs in a scutty little shop in the back streets of Stockton. I have been a night porter at a hotel. I have been a security guard on a building site. Yeah, I've been a chef. I've managed pubs. I've done all this stuff because the stuff I was doing wasn't making me happy. So I went off and found something else. And in order to eat, I would do whatever job I could get my hands on. Demolition, I've done the same. I've spent 12 hours on a building site with a lump hammer, knocking out the inside of a building so we could knock it down with a wrecking ball. Yeah? Now, I didn't get a participation medal. You got I need a job. We have to have money to eat.
Yep.
So you go out and you do whatever you want. I didn't sit there thinking, well, I'm a brain surgeon. Yeah. You go out and you do whatever you have to. You get a bit of money behind you, and then you can start looking at what you want to do.
Yep.
I was lucky. I fell into an industry, being a chef and the pubs, that it turned out I had a bit of a flair for. You know, it was great. I'd never cooked. So when I learned how to do it professionally, I didn't do it at college. I did it under this hairy ass bloke called Andy, who's one of the gods of the universe. And basically, he ran that kitchen like a restaurant in London. Yeah. So in the morning, it was morning chef. He had a cup of coffee waiting. If you fucked up, you got a clip round the back of the head. If you really pissed him off, you were peeling potatoes for the next 2 weeks. But you learned your craft. You know. And I'd love to see more of that. But we don't do it anymore.
Oh, God, no. I mean, we don't do the work from the bottom up.
No.
No, people want things handed to them in a silver platter. And common sense is another one that seems to be lacking.
Oh,
it's
turned into a friggin' superpower.
There's one when Mr. Anderson's put in, wants him to tell a graduate engineer which end of a spanner to use. You can have degrees up the wazoo, but have zero.
I always remember when I worked at Tarmac at Quarry, there was a change around with management, and the manager of the actual quarry, he basically retired. He finished his job, and they got a new lad in. And the new lad for the quarry manager's job was a graduate, and he was 26. He was really nice lad. Don't get me wrong, really nice lad. Knew his stuff about quarrying, but lacked the experience. And what film was it now? Oh, the one with Nixon. Oh, I'm trying to think of it. It's hello, good evening, and welcome. What's his name?
David Frost.
David Frost.
David Frost. Frost and Nixon, the film.
Mm.
Anyway, we was just generally talking. He says, "Do you get up to much at the weekend?" I says, watch that new film, Nixon and Frost. And he goes, Nixon and Frost. I says, yeah, President Nixon and David Frost. He says, who's President Nixon?
No.
He genuinely did not know who Nixon was.
That's terrifying.
That was him. He was a copper, wasn't he? That Nixon of Dock Green.
Yeah, honestly.
I love that one from Tribal Dragon. I remember being told, I'd like to offer you the job, but you're more qualified and experienced than me, so sorry, I'm not losing my job.
That happened to Jules. When Jules first moved to Scotland, Jules was a teacher in England, worked in pupil referral units and stuff, and come up through the ranks and stuff. She was told basically that she would have to basically reset teaching courses in Scotland because Scottish education is slightly different from England. But she went for an interview for a teacher's assistant job in a school, and basically she was told at the interview, unfortunately, you're too qualified for this position. Because if we start you as a teacher's assistant, you're actually better qualified than the teacher. So she never got a job. But they couldn't start her as a teacher because of the difference between Scottish and English education.
That's ridiculous.
So they could have had an asset, and they'd rather not have an asset. What is it, more of the fear of them moving on to better, showing people up?
Possibility. I don't know. But yeah, she never got a job.
See, this what bugs me, and I'm going to put it in an educational vein because obviously the story you just told us. Surely the whole point of the school is to educate. Yeah, it's not how good it looks. It's not what it looks like on paper. It's not how many Bentleys are pulling up at the gates of the school in the morning. It's to educate the kids. And to do that, you use the proper tools, yeah, and the proper resources. So if you've got somebody with experience and a quantifiable knowledge base, etc., and proof of what a good teacher they are, since when does that come into it, that you're overqualified? Nobody can be overqualified.
Or is that the how can you put it? Wouldn't be able to be manipulated into their way of thinking.
Yeah, and that's their get out clause.
But it appears to me that companies, academic, all the rest of it, NHS, forget the bit of paper. We need to get back to the qualification, the experience bit. Yeah. We need to be looking at, okay, this person, not quite in our mold, but what can they offer us? Because I'll tell you, man, some of the job interviews I've done where you have a tick box of what you're looking for. Yeah. We give them a job spec, and then it's not just what you decide. I now have, if I take somebody on to read letters, say, yeah, I have to have not only how I've picked them, there has to be weighting for various ethnic groups and social groups and all the rest of it. Yeah. I have to score whether they answer the question or not. So if I've written a really bad person spec or job spec, and the people haven't understood what I'm asking to see, I've already shot probably the best person in the foot. You know, when did it ever get so complicated? Where are we? The people skills, easy done. I was a TA in CDT. We were basically justified going back to the older way of teaching in a workshop and ignore what Ofsted wanted according to the guidelines. After 3 years, our kids were far better taught. 100%. Let's lose the bleeding tick boxes.
Yeah, but that's all it is nowadays, isn't it? It's tick boxes because everybody loves a pie chart.
I can do a pie chart that show you black is white and white is black, but
Well,
doesn't
that's
mean
how
it's right.
that's how the world has got now, isn't it? It's all down to stats and pie charts and graphs and.
I'm just feeling hungry now because you mentioned pie.
Pie.
What-
Well, guys, we're up to the hour.
No way.
Yes, wait.
Dear Lord.
Look at us. That must have been the most serious show that we have done in a long time.
Very long time.
What the hell happened?
Bottom.
I don't know. Not enough lube.
Save that for next week.
I tell you what, my bloody blood pressure's going through the roof at a minute. At Royal Mail, they taught you on the job, even if you didn't drive. Bang on, that's the way it should be. Nobody should ask you to sweep the floor unless they've got blisters on their hand from pushing a broom. Sorry, but, you know, that's my opinion. You don't like it, I don't care. You know, it is an opinion. You don't have to like it. I don't want you to like it. I either want you to agree with it or argue and tell me why I'm wrong. I'm not going to get offended by it. I'm going to respect you more for doing that.
Oh, God, yeah.
Oh, thanks, Jules. I love her. She's got lovely puppies.
And I've got to agree. Jules has got lovely puppies.
I nearly said something, but but let's leave it at that.
See, puppies are the answer.
Yeah.
Puppies are definitely the answer.
Next week, we need to go back to the filth then. We will.
Yeah, and unfortunately, we had to get these articles that that popped up this week. We just had to air them.
We don't often do politics for a very good reason, but I think the NNA's call to action there is one we need to seriously look at and consider. It may have been serious, but it was interesting. Thank you, Bill. Tolmac, 100%, mate. Everybody is equal. We come in to this world, we are screaming, shitting ourselves and kicking. We go out, we're doing the same thing, mate.
Exactly the same thing. Totally agree with you there.
Can we see Obi-Wan? Bunny.
Obi-Wan's downstairs. Will I go get Obi-Wan?
Go on then, go and get Obi-Wan.
Oh, Bunny, what you started now?
There's nothing wrong with seeing Jules' puppies.
Not little Obi, because he's gorgeous.
He is.
Some big brown eyes.
Thanks, Dawn.
Thank you.
We've gone right quiet. We should not be going quiet on a show.
I know, but it's Obi. I'm shivering with anticipation. How'd you do? I see you met my faithful handyman.
Darren, perfect. These are the puppies you're looking
for.
Here we go.
I wasn't just allowed to bring Obi on his own, so I had to bring Kylo too. So that's Obi.
Obi's gorgeous.
He's like a teddy bear.
And that's Kylo.
Oh, Kylo's cute. Oh, Gailey. Well, at least you caught us. And Huggles.
Huggles for Gailey.
Give me 2 minutes. I'm going to go and stick these in the other room because I can't do anything with my hands.
There we are.
Gorgeous, aren't they?
Oh, Obi's just beautiful.
I've got to admit, I'm mega tempted to get a doggy. We keep on talking. Me and Jan keep on talking about it.
You got one.
I've got one.
You got one. He just sits there, but you got one.
Yeah, he's really good. He is. Don't have to feed him. Don't have to walk him. Sits there.
No shit.
Don't shit all over. Don't chew out. Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Uncle Stevie.
You're welcome.
I think you've sent Bunny into apoplexy.
Yeah,
They are the gorgeous.
See, we did say Jules has got lovely puppies. No, you're not getting rid of my girlfriend.
What's that?
Dawn's just said you can have mine. No, that dog loves me.
There you go. Right, guys, are we going to wrap this one up?
Yeah.
I think we ought to. Is it... Well said, Mr. A. Oh, bless you, Tolmac. I know the feeling, mate. I lost mine recently, so
Yeah. It's been a few years since we lost ours, but it's still
yeah,
good shit.
tender.
Still tender.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway, come on, let's cheer this up and wind it.
Anywho, guys, thanks for joining us. As I said before, it became a little bit serious tonight, but it's just please go on to the NNA's website and let's do our bit. Because if we don't, the Who could potentially
Scupper everything.
Yeah. So, guys, thanks for joining us. Please join us again next Thursday, where hopefully things will be a little bit lighter. Maybe in the gutter if it's Steve's got anything to do with it. Oh, Christ, here comes Ray. So yeah, Steve, Mark, what can I say? This show was different. It was strange.
It was almost a vape show.
It was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I was like, I thought it was in the wrong bloody channel there for a minute. Yeah, so next they're in our room, Jules. So yeah, hopefully same time next week that we may just kind of up the ante a little bit and bring more lube and stuff. So yeah, join us next week, guys. Same time, same place.
I'm ready for next week. Mind that's hand sanitizer, that'll sting.
Yeah, especially when you're pegging.
Yeah, but only for a little bit.
Well, yes.
Especially if you've got piles. And by the speed bumps.
Oh, matron. Well, folks, thank you for staying with us. I know we've been a bit more serious. Hopefully next week we'll be back to normal, which will basically be discussing what the Who intends to do to us in a more physical sense. It's been, I think we need to do these now and again. We do need to just sort of touch on the more serious side. I know we try not to on the channel.
Yeah, we do.
You know, we like to keep it lighthearted, but every now and again you just can't avoid it. So I hope you enjoyed yourselves. Really do, because I mean, compared to last week's show, we were downright choir boys this week. Stevie, Mark, love you as always, darlings. Brothers from another mother. That's better. I get one heart and one. I'm not an animal. So moving
My
on.
name is John Derrick.
It's getting better. Over to the gaffer.
Over to the gaffer. Right, okay. Betty, BFG, thank you so much for a cracking show. Yeah, he has been a little bit on the serious side, but we're only talking about things that we're passionate about, so... And, yeah.
Next week we'll be back to talking about sex because we're passionate about that too.
We're mega passionate about that. We like puppies and all sorts, so yes, definitely be talking about that. Guys in chat, guys on the replay, thank you so much for joining us. You've been ace as always. Before you go, if you could please give us a thumbs up, it would be brilliant if you would do that. If we can get better than, I think it was, what was it, 34 we got last week. If we can beat that, that would be awesome. So, all you guys in chat, just throw us a thumb. It'd be brilliant. So, from me, Betty and Steve, we wish you a wonderful weekend. I hope you really enjoy yourself. Have a safe week. If you're at work or at home, stay safe. And we'll see you all back here on Thursday at 7:30 for more shits and giggles.
Hopefully.
Oh, aye. And I believe it's the Oxford giveaway as well next week.
And yeah. I want to know about the bike next week.
Yeah, we've got to know all about the bike.
And before I forgot to point out, I'm on my fucking holidays. I've got long weekend this weekend.
Oh, you lucky devil.
Lucky man.
I need all. I've had a week off this year.
Well, this is our what we call the September weekend. Obviously, it's in fucking September. Because you guys get the
August.
Yeah, August and the last Monday in May.
Mm.
You don't get it, so this is our equivalent.
Well, I've had one bank holiday off this year so far. Obviously, not including Boxing Day, because I had Boxing Day, and that is a bank holiday. I've had one bank holiday off this year, and I've had 1 week off. Well, 5 days. That's all I've had off so far, because we won't be swapping jobs, so I'm ready for an holiday. Just thought I'd let you know that lot. Right, from us three whinging old things, we'll see you all next week. Bye!
Bye!
Outro!
I'll be come on in next week and you fucking 11.
Yeah, you ought to in the helmet.
I'm not seeing my helmet on the screen. I'll wear my leather cap to Ashton night.
Yeehaw!